So how do you create a structure that works for you as a speaker? And why is structure important? Structure is important for you as the speaker because it provides a map for your speech. It's important for the audience because they know that you are in control. The authority that you get from having a clear structure to your speech means that you speak really fluently and they can follow your lead. And that's what the audience wants more than anything else. They want to know that you are in charge and that you have a plan and that they can follow you. So how do we create that structure? We start with a great opening. In Speakers Bank, we talk about the 99 rule, the first 9 seconds and the last 9 seconds, the ones that people will remember. I've seen many speeches completely redeemed by a fantastic ending because you can create meaning, you can create a sense of what was the speech all about in those last few moments of your speech. Another phrase to describe that is called the primacy and recency effect. It's a very powerful tool. So start effectively, finish effectively. You can start with a rhetorical question, a startling statement, a quotation, or you can set the scene. My recommendation to you would be not to start with an introduction about your name, not with an introduction about I'm going to talk about. When you start your speech, start in the speech. So I've told you about some things I'd recommend that you do. I've also got a couple of things that I'd like to suggest that you avoid because I've noticed that they don't work as effectively as I would like for the speakers that are speaking. The first is to start with your name. The second is to start with I'm going to talk about. I'd like you to start in your speech. So if you're going to be speaking about global warming, start with global warming. Don't start anywhere else other than there. And the third thing is, I'd like to ask you to think carefully about using the words close your eyes. Because at that stage in your presentation, in my opinion, you have not yet established sufficient rapport with the audience to ask them to be puppets to you. I would suggest if you want them to imagine something, allow them to do it with your eyes open. So you start well. You go into the body and you need to think about a story or 3 main points that support your argument. And you really need to put the flesh on the bones here. It's not enough just to give headlines. I want you to give the details. I want you to think about how you can put that together. So think what you would want to know. Don't make assumptions about what people already know about the way in which your topic. So if you want to talk about the difficulties you've experienced coming to the UK from another country, make sure you tell us where you came from and what living in that country was like before you actually then investigate the difficulties that you've faced. Add the flesh to your story. Think about the hows and the whens and the whys and the whos. Because all of those questions will prompt detail that's going to add impact to your story, add detail to your story, add colour to your story. And once you've told your story, once you've made your 3 points, how are you going to conclude? One of the things I would heartily recommend to all young people is when they're actually speaking to the audience at the end and they're maybe inviting them to think differently about something or they're perhaps asking them to take some sort of action. Please, please, please don't point at the audience and don't talk about what you need to do. Talk about what we need to do. Because it actually alienates the audience if you're talking about the you at that stage. It's about the we. So in your invitation to action at the end, think about the we. What can we do to make things better? What can we notice and learn from the story that I've just told? So structure can be a massively powerful tool in actually giving you control of your speech and confidence in the way in which you present your stories and your speech to the audience.